Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we have the next sneak peek day and we have the next super troop. Today we have the giant is getting a new redesign. Let's see how exactly this will work. I will show you guys obviously on how you guys can work this into your own armies. What is basically the best use for the giants, etc. All of this, we'll talk about this today in today's video. And like always, we're starting off with the statistics, or like with the stats of the old giant. The old giant is, well, kind of straightforward, right? Like, we know most of how the giant works, but it's like a beefy guy for the housing space of 5, and overall the damage is 64, and the exact health is 1850. Which isn't too bad, right? Which isn't too bad. But the biggest weakness to the giant always was the spring trap. So let's figure out what exactly is the super giant. Not only has the super giant somehow hair, but as well, it's the special ability is the first unique thing, I would say, and it's not copied from the builder base. It's the wall buster. What does it mean? It means that the giant is dealing more damage to walls, which means it's like a super nice way of him having like a big group of giants walking in front of your damage dealers like boulders, witches, etc. And they will smash through every single wall, which is pretty nice. Obviously, you have to somehow make sure that he's going through the right wall, but except that, it's pretty good. Let's take a look at the stats of the super giant, and you can see as once again, the housing space is getting doubled. But at the same time, the hit points and the damage per second is getting more than a double buff, which means, or which makes the super giant stat-wise way better. In addition to that, it has the super ability, but what is even more important is the housing space. You might think, okay, it's actually a nerf going from 5 to 10 housing space, but if you think about what is the biggest weakness of giants, it's spring traps, like I said. And once again, how do you dodge those? A maxed spring trap has a capacity of 18, which means it could spring away 3 giants. On the other side, the housing space of 10 means there could be only 1 giant getting spring trapped away if it's a super giant, which is a huge difference because you're saving basically one or like half a super giant, which means as soon as you're hitting 2 spring traps, you have 1 additional, or like you have saved 1 entire super giant basically. So this is kind of the most important thing. So let's try the super giant out and let's see how exactly he works and what is like the damage of him against walls. So we should send him against the wall over here. Obviously it's like a max giant versus a wall over here, and you can see he's still taking barely any damage off the point defenses, and he's dealing pretty good damage against the wall, right? So let's like imagine there are a couple of more giants hitting the wall. The wall is melting kind of quickly. So what we should do is let's try to have a couple of more giants on one wall, and we would try that on the right side because we need a closed compartment. And yeah, sending like 3 giants in there. Take a look at how quickly those walls are melting. So this is kind of important, especially going further on as soon as we're figuring out our own army. So it's pretty crazy. But what we should do as well, let's just spam the super giants in and let them do their work and see how far they can actually go. I mean, they're not dealing any damage to normal buildings before all of the defenses are taken out, or they're not dealing any damage to heroes whatsoever. But still, let's take a look at how fast they're dying. Obviously, the single Inferno tower is smelting them kind of quickly, but on the same hand, they're kind of good against those multi-Inferno towers, which are still out there, especially like in the Legend League, etc. So you can see they're tanking pretty good. Like it's crazy. They're taking nearly no damage, especially if you have like healers in behind them or like investing in a heal spell or stuff like that. It's nuts. It's actually nuts. You will see in a second as soon as we're doing a attack with the real army. And let's just use some spells, right? Let's just use some spells on the giants, like Rage or like a heal spell, and they're getting through everything even faster. It's crazy. So I think let's start with the Rage over there and just take a look at how fast they're going through those walls. It's like 2 or 3 hits and it's done. It's so crazy. The only downside of this troop is I feel like it's kind of spammy. Like, at least so far once again, as soon as you guys and everyone else can play this, maybe there's going to be a use of the giants where it's like not too spammy. But at least for me, I only found really success with them in like spammy type armies. One thing which I won't show you guys in this video is HGHB. I mean, maybe some of you guys know it, like healers with giants and like as a kill squad. But for now, let's watch how the giants are getting into this. Well, what is this actually? Is this like a hair studio? Because I feel like most of the super troops are getting fancy haircuts. Like the giants are getting somehow like those nice hairs, and the super barbarian is like having a crazy transition from normal barbarian to super barbarian. So I don't know what exactly this is, but it's doing some magic. So yeah, we have those 9 super giants, and we have, well, we still need to figure out a clan castle, but this is going to be like the army which I will test. Like I said, I think the synergy in between of giants and like some damage troops in behind is really good. And since I feel like no one is using witches, let's use some witches. God damn it, witches are super nice, especially if you combine them with giants. The reason for that is the giants are basically tanking for the witches against multi-inferno towers. At the same time, the skeletons are tanking for giants against single inferno towers. So the synergy is really good. So let's take a look at what exactly we're doing. We took the ram with even more giants, and let's try this army out. If it's not working too well, we will give it a second try. So what we're trying to do, or what we're starting off to do, is basically a warden walk. I still see so many questions about why do you use a warden walk, and when should you use a warden walk, when should you go for a queen walk, and stuff like that. And it's always, or like nearly always, it's warden walk is most of the time better if you do not run into time issues. The reason for that is basically you do not have to invest anything most of the time in funneling. What exactly does this mean? For example, if I would place a queen over there, I would need to funnel a lot to make sure that first my queen is not going into the wrong direction, and second of all, if there's something in the second layer, for example as this air defense, I'm always risking my queen dying to it, or like the healers dying to it, or whatever. So warden walk is most of the time better, and well, like I said, the only thing where it's worse, it's the time. Everything else, the warden walk is doing better than the queen walk. So let's take a look at what exactly is happening. We're raging everything up just because, like I said, time, and we have 4 rages, so like we need to somehow use it. And next thing, as soon as we're knowing that my warden is going slowly to the air defense, we're starting off with the giant, like which is supposed to tank, and then just the ram in behind to get our troops into the base. Obviously, I could use like war breakers and just the giants or something like that, but I feel like the ram is making it more reliable. And now we're just sending everything in. The king on the outside, and we're delaying the royal champ because we can use the royal champ wherever we want. And now just use the warden ability, make sure that everything is staying safe basically. And now the bad thing is happening, which is my giants are taken actually, or like beating through the wrong wall, which means well, my witches are going to the bottom, my other troops are going to the right, so we somehow need to save my witches, and we're doing that with first freezing obviously like non-stop the freaking scatter shot, and then just sending in the royal champ to make sure that the scatter shot is somehow tanked, freezing it one more time. And just take a look at the right side. What, like, we have still 1 million giants left. Like, this is crazy. We have so many freaking giants still left alive. Our queen is still alive, which is clutch. One healer saving the day on our healers. Yeah, that makes sense. It's one healer saving the day with staying on our witches. That's what I wanted to say. And yeah, meanwhile, queen is doing her thing, beating actually through the correct wall. That's shout out to her at that point. And yeah, like I said, there's still so many giants left. And yeah, I just think they're pretty strong. They're actually pretty strong. I don't like too much the idea behind that, because I feel like I said, they're kind of spammy. But at the same time, it is what it is. The game needs spammy troops as well. So yeah, as long as they work, I guess everyone can use them. And once again, guys, I need your opinion about that. What do you guys think about the giants, and how do you guys would use the giants? And what is so far your favorite super troop? Like, we already have the information that there's only 1 more super troop to go. Like, overall, there's going to be 4, which means so far we have 3 super troops, like the giant, we have the barbarian, and the goblin. Let me guys know what your favorite super troop is so far. For me, it's definitely the goblin. I think it's kind of funny, especially I like the clan castle, I like the blimp. It's a bit more risky, obviously, but at the same time, it synergies really well with Lalo and other strategies as well. So that's what I like a lot. But yeah, let me guys know what you think about the different super troops. But for now, we want to use it one more time. Like, we want to try it one more time. But this time I feel like we had too many giants. Like we had overall 13 giants. That's not needed. They're not dying anyway. So why would you use so many giants? So what I use in what I do will reset. What I would do instead is going to be we delete a couple of giants, and for this we will retake a couple of more DPS troops and obviously cleanup troops because the last attack was time-wise really close. So what we would do instead is using 2 more witches. What can we do as well? 2 more witches and 1 wizard, I think, and 1 minion, right? Like 2 witches. I would love to use like 2 more wizards, but that's just not possible. So yeah, 1 minion, 1 minion in as well. And let's try this army, right? Let's try it on a different base because we attacked already the last base. So let's go ham on another base and let's see if we can triple once again with this army, or if it's not working too well. On this base, I feel like since there's so many storages at the top, and we want to start at the top of this base, since there are so many storages, I feel like it's, how do you say, it's a little bit too time consuming. Like I said, the biggest weakness of the Warden Walk is the time. And if you cannot figure out how to actually beat the time, you need to do the Queen Walk if you want to have an opener like this. So we need to start off with our Queen, and then do a Queen Walk to the left and enter over there with the Ram. One more thing is it's kind of important that you hit the Warden ability with the Ram, because the Ram is most of the time kind of the key to make sure that the kill squad is, or like your big push is running the right direction. So this is kind of key. For now, Baby Dragon is doing his job to make sure that the Queen is going into the right direction, and so far everything is looking pretty good. So this means we want to enter at the Inferno Tower with our Ram and use the King and Giants to tank and get through everything, I guess. King in behind, like I said. Couple of witches. We have like 9 witches, so why not put a couple of them on the outside? Few more giants to tank for everything. We need to freeze the Expos over there in a second, just to make sure that my Queen is staying alive. And we have so many freaking troops over there using the King ability, so the witches are going inside. But yeah, so far it's not looking too bad. We have a couple of more witches and everything going in. The Warden ability was like 1 millisecond too late, which is obviously not a good thing. And now we need to somehow reach the Eagle, so we need to, I guess we just need to have the Royal Champion getting placed over there. The Tornado Trap is like putting everything into the wrong direction, but either way, we have the Giants beating through that wall like in 1 second, so that's kind of nice for us. And slowly but surely we were making our way into the direction of the Town Hall. We have technically all of the witches still left alive at the outside of the base, which isn't the ideal thing, but not too bad either, to be honest. At the meantime, we have the Royal Champion at the top doing her thing to hopefully make everything better. And I don't know why rages are just not on point. I didn't thought, like, why would the Queen go on that wall and not follow the troops, especially with the skeletons down there? So let's speed things up. Why would she redirect right now? I don't know. I guess my Queen is trolling me. So both rages were kind of useless. We took out the Town Hall at least, so my witches are staying alive for now. We have the 1 giant. I don't know why I didn't place the giant, but either way. We can use the giant for tanking for the back end. Couple of loons, 1 wizard in behind to make sure that it's not going to be a time fight, hopefully. We have the witches still left alive on the outside. Our Queen can reach most of the things, and then we use the Queen ability for the wall. Obviously, this was not like a clean attack or whatsoever. I just want to show you guys a little bit more of the strategy, or like the troop itself. And it's kind of funny beating, letting them beat through a wall. And yeah, let's save the Queen ability. Can we somehow make this? Or is this going to be like the classic 99? Oh god, I think we cannot reach the sweeper. God, no. Okay, this is going to be a 99, which is a really nice finish for this video. I hope you guys liked the video, and like I said, let me guys know what you think of the Giants. In my opinion, I mean, it's the Giants. It's spammy. That's how they work, kinda. So you cannot complain about that, I guess. But either way, I think it wouldn't be one of the most favorite super troops of my choice. Like I said, I like the Barbarians and the Goblins more. But either way, let's see what is going to come for the next super troop. And yeah, see you hopefully back tomorrow with another video. See you guys until then, and bye bye.